Yo, what's up guys, it's your boy Anizi with What If Naruto Had Frieza's Potential Part 2. So let's get started. Naruto made it back to the Uzumaki Namikaze compound. This place made him sick, where he was noticed by the crowd. The demon has arrived, and similar comments were made, until Kushina noticed him. Oh Naruto, you're home, where were you? She asked. Naruto looked at her annoyed. Out looking at the stars, Naruto lied, not wanting to tell them about Yaruko or any of the Otsutsuki he fought. Oh please, you were probably training to be as good as me. I bet you couldn't even throw a kunai right. Memma yelled, making everybody laugh. Naruto got mad. How dare this trash of a lower life form disrespects him. They had no potential and were useless pieces of shit compared to him. Me? Can't throw kunai? Look at yourself. You might be in the top because you're good at studying, but I don't waste my time with studying. I'm the best when it comes to practical exams. Are you forgetting who beat you in a spar? Who beat Sasuke, Sayuri, Mito, everyone in a spar? You've been trained by Sanins, yet you can't beat me. You've been trained by Minato Namikaze and the Red Death Kushina Uzumaki, yet you're trash, Naruto says, making Memma get mad. Jiraiya also got mad. The civilians got very mad as well, and glared at Naruto. How dare the demon insult their hero for putting him in his place. They all fought as Naruto walked away, knowing his parents won't let him go to his room, as that would be disrespectful to the guests, as if he cared about the Leaf Village. Naruto watched as, after a few minutes, everybody forgot he existed, and went to give the spoiled brats of siblings that he had the presents. Then the godparents came up. Menma, you will have the Toad contract, and will be the next Toad Sage. You shall train with them, Jiraiya says, as Menma cheers that he gets to be like his father and Jiraiya sensei. While the others looked at him in awe, especially Kiba and Sasuke, who looked at him in jealousy. Mito looked jealous. Tsunade seeing this came up to her. Oh, don't worry Mito, you will have the slug contract and become the slug sage, Tsunade says as Mito hugged her. Thanks Grandma Tsunade, she says. You know Kit, it doesn't matter. If I had any of those contracts, I'll throw them away. Such inferior creatures. I'll tell you what, I'll give you the summoning contract for the foxes. I met the leader once. She was a really good vixen. Oh yes. But yeah, she told me to give it to you, someone who is worthy, and I choose you, the fox says. Thanks Fox, Naruto says. What about Naruto? Mito asked as Jiraiya and Tsunade looked at each other. If he chooses my contract, it will prove that my summons are better than his/hers. They both thought. Hey Tsunade, how about we make a deal? If Naruto chooses my contract, you'll have to go out with me. Tsunade looked at Jiraiya. She couldn't resist take on the bet due to her gambling. Fine, if I win, you will have to give me all of the sake from the Toad Mountain, Tsunade says, as Jiraiya agreed. Naruto was annoyed. They both were bringing him into their games, as then both of them were now in front of him. Naruto, I present to you the Toad contract, Jiraiya says. No, don't sign that one, sign my one, it's better, Tsunade says as she pressed her breast sagging old tits into his face. Naruto was uncomfortable. This old woman was basically sexually harassing him. And what she didn't know was that due to Naruto's high chakra, like intense reserves, he couldn't be fooled by genjutsu and saw the true old hag that Tsunade was. The crowd started laughing at the Sanin's antics, but were mad that the demon gets one of the legendary contracts of the Leaf Village. It will make him too strong. I hope he picks the toads, Minato thought, as he imagined himself bonding with Naruto. Please pick the slugs, then we could be together with your sister, Kushina thought. In the morning she's been thinking about all the times Naruto would come home with red paint on him, which she thought was paint because the villagers could never do this to the son of the Hokage, but he would say it was blood. But Kushina knew he was lying. It was pranks, it had to be pranks. She was the prank queen, she would do something like this, and he's an Uzumaki, so pranking is in their blood. She, however, would ask Minato to investigate. But moving on. It's okay, I don't need it, Naruto says, as the two Sanins were offended. Memma smirked, thinking that the failure knew his place. What do you mean, kid? Opportunities like this won't come again, Jiraiya says. I'm fine, I would rather have my own contract and find my own than be a clone of someone else. I'm going up to my room, Naruto says, shutting the door behind him. That boy needs to learn manners, Krishna. I know you never raised him because you were busy focusing on the twins, but you should try and correct his mannerism, or else he might piss off someone else, maybe like the Fire Daimyo or someone else, and get Memma and Mito into trouble, Tsunade says. That's it, party's over, Minato says, as everybody's mood went sour. The villagers started cursing Naruto for ruining the party. He hates us, Krishna says, crying. Mito stood silent while Memma was mad. How dare that worthless piece of shit make my mother cry. Who cares if our family never paid attention to him? He's just an extra. I'll protect my mum and my sister and make him pay, Memma yells in his head. Mito stared off in space. She didn't know anything about her brother. Is she really that bad of a sister, she thought to herself. Minato ran after Krishna to comfort her. He knew that what they were doing to Naruto was wrong, but it had to be done for the prophecy and for the protection of the village. The next morning, Naruto had gotten up and rushed downstairs, where he saw Minato and Krishna making food. Krishna smiled when she saw Naruto, making Naruto scoff. There was a point where he would give anything for her love, but now he hated it. She was a bad mother that let her child get beaten, to be attention-starved, and she thinks she could switch after all she had done. Naruto ignored her, running out of the house. This left Krishna broken. He hates me, she says, as Mito hugged her. We just need to show Oni-chan that we love him, Mito says. You're right, Krishna says. Naruto may have been a rookie in terms of fighting, but he was actually labeled as the dead last. This was because he missed all the exams and never attended academy 70% of the time. He only came for the lessons where there were fights and the end of year tests. This made him be mocked. Naruto arrived first and took his seat, a seat far away from everyone else. Nobody bothered him, and there were true reasons for that. Mainly because nobody wanted to be friends with him, and most of the people knew that he would beat them up if they tried to bully him. After he had met Kurama, he wouldn't take shit, not like he did before, from his classmates. He had sent several of his classmates to hospital, and had broken them so badly that their brains mentally suppressed everything, giving them amnesia. But he prefers it this way. These lesser life ones with no potential shouldn't even be near him. They should stay away. They shouldn't even look at him. Naruto watched as the other started to come into class. The first was Chaoji, a rather good guy for a Leaf citizen. He would munch on his chips all day long, but overall Chaoji did not annoy him and didn't talk to him, which he was okay with. The next was Shikamaru. He on the other hand would just sleep through classes, even when the teacher scolded him to go out of the class. He would just sleep outside the class, but Naruto knew better than that. That boy was a damn genius, and the reason he slept was because everything was too easy for him. The next person to walk into class was the two most annoying people in his life besides Mito and Menma. In fact, these two would probably be on par with him. They were the bane of his existence when it came down to anything, along with the many fanboys and fangirls. The first was Sasuke. He would always find a way to annoy him with his constant remarks on how worthless his life was and how his parents hated him and knew that he was just a worthless piece of shit and that he was getting lucky in the spars or cheating. He would always say how he was better than Naruto due to his Uchiha blood. Menma and Sasuke were rivals, but what brought them together was the torment of Naruto. In any event, Sasuke wasn't that bad of a shinobi. He was just average for this class, but they made him out to be some sort of prodigy they'd never seen before. Seriously, Konoha really tried to play these people off as prodigies when they're just random shinobis. But compared to Naruto, all of these losers were insects waiting to be stomped on. Either way, they were just mediocre at best. And the next person was the person that annoyed him the most in his academy life, Sayuri Uchiha, the person who he made the mistake of saving from a cloud ninja when he was a kid before he had met Kurama. She was annoying. Anything Naruto tried to do, she'd rub it in his face and gloat. She would tease him of how weak and pathetic he was, and that he was a disappointment to his clan, and that he never even had clan head status, and that he shouldn't even be in his class. She also told him to commit suicide and pray that he becomes better shinobi in the next life, even though he had beaten her in every single fight. But she, like most idiots here, cared for the shinobi class system, and he was the dead last for not coming in. But what pisses him off the most was the fact that Naruto knew he would have done it. He would have committed suicide. In fact, he already did it because of her. If it wasn't for the fox saving him and telling him how much his life was worth, he would have died and wasted his potential, all because of this bitch of a person and her superiority complex demanded it. But now, those are just empty words. He had a goal in mind, and no matter what, he would fulfill it. He would show this village that it was nothing a piece of shit without him, and that he is the one that will create the most strongest village that Hashirama could have only dreamed of having. It still pissed him off that the egotistical bitch couldn't see that telling someone to kill themselves, especially when that boy's life was already hell, would actually cause them to listen to her advice. What made him hate her even more was because She was even more of a self-centered witch than Sasuke. After that, enter another person he despised, Hinata Hyuga, aka Memma's girlfriend, aka the bitch who makes fun of him and will do anything her Memma-kun says for Memma's approval. She was a natural-born fangirl with a bitchy attitude that only rivaled Sakura and Ino. Ino hated her for taking away Memma, but she was disgusting because she was weak, pathetic. The only reason why she was still a clan head was because she was going to get married to the Uzumaki clan or the Namikaze clan, whichever one that Krishna and Minato choose to give Memma. The other would obviously go to Mito, but he couldn't care less. The final people who came in were Ino, Yamaka and Sakura Harano, Memma and Sasuke's two most loyal fangirl and their bitches. These two were the most annoying beings in the world. It took all of Naruto's power not to kill them. They were embarrassment to all of Kunichi's. They were so terrible at everything related to being ninja. It was actually almost sad that they were trying to pursue this as a life goal, as a life career. To be honest, Naruto was more offended that they were even near him. Sakura disgusted him the most since he had actually seen her giving blows to the teacher Mizuki for Kunichi of the year. He puked at seeing such a disgusting sight. Even Kurama in all his years have never seen such a sight. Naruto saw Sayuri move next to the seat next to him and saw Naruto sitting there with his new gear. She looked at him and took a good look. She blushed. She couldn't lie. He was the best looking guy in the class, but that didn't change the urge to make fun of him. Hey loser, nice clothes, but do you really think changing clothes will keep you from failing? You're shit at tests. You're a pathetic nobody, she insulted, as everybody took notice at who she was talking about. When they saw it was Naruto, they started to laugh. Yeah, hate to say it, but Sayuri said it. Naruto, you idiot, you never pass. No matter how good you look, you're an idiot, Sakura yelled out. Sasuke looked at Naruto with a glare. He wasn't worth his words. Kiba laughed way too hard. Yeah, idiot, you will never be a ninja, especially when no one trains you, when even your family sees that you're worthless, he said, as Mito remained quiet, as she thought, shit, this wasn't gonna be good. The village wasn't helping them restore their relationship with Naruto. They're making it worse by saying stuff like this, Mito thought. Memma snorted as he glared at his brother. Naruto looked down at his lap, not because he cared about anything these lower life forms said, but he had to calm himself down. I should kill these little mongrels, these lesser life forms, these inferior creatures, Naruto thought to himself, but he simply ignored his thoughts. He still needed this village to find contacts, but when this village wasn't needed, he would show these lesser life forms their place. He would make them suffer like he was suffered. Soon Iruka entered the class. Hello class, I believe that today is the day that you will be walking out with your headbands, some with pride while others will walk out with disappointment. As soon as he said that, most students looked at Naruto as the disappointment while looking at Sayuri, Memma, Mito and Sasuke as the people who would pass definitely. Sayuri looked at Naruto who's looking out at the window, ignoring everything. He's so hopeless. Such a dumbass really. It's shameful that he's actually Memma's younger brother, she thought, while looking at Naruto in disdain. Iruka handed out the test. To everybody's surprise, Naruto was at the top. Iruka-sensei, he's got to have cheated. There's no way that Baka could do better than me, Sakura and Ino yelled, before Naruto sent killing intent towards them. As they fell over the chair, everybody started laughing. Quiet, Ino, Sakura, or you'll fail, Iruka said. But he was surprised. He didn't expect the demon to be this good. And the next was kunai throwing, which pissed off everybody, especially Sayuri, because Naruto was always the best at these practical tests. Then were taijutsu matches. Everybody had gone, apart from Naruto and Sasuke. Can Naruto and Sasuke both come down to the stage? Iruka asked, as Naruto stepped up. It's time, Dobe, that I finally show you your place. You may have beaten me the last time, but we all know that was you cheating. Now, Iruka-sensei will make sure that you won't cheat, and I will be claimed the strongest in the class, just like I was meant to be, Sasuke says, as everybody cheered for him, apart from Mito and Sayuri. Sayuri was surprised that Naruto kept up with them in the written test, as she knew that he was shit at them. He was meant to be the stupid and strong type, one who she would break to make into a perfect husband, who would give her strong kids but not question her. That's the reason why she bullied him. She was trying to break his mind until he was nothing but his pet. She then thought of how Naruto outsmarted her, and some impure thoughts came to her head, but she quickly washed away. No, I must have him as my pet, not me as his, she thought. Begin, Iruka yelled. Sasuke dashed at Naruto, but he was moving in slow motion to Naruto, that Naruto punched him in the ribs, sending him flying out of the arena. Blood exploded from his ribs at the exact point where he had contact made by Naruto. Sasuke-kun, yelled Sakura as her and the Sasuke fangirls dashed towards their prince. Sakura started grabbing some hair and some blood for her Sasuke shrine before she looked at him. You nearly killed him, demon, Sakura yelled as she tried to hit Naruto, only to be bit-slapped. What the hell, Naruto? I know you're angry at us, but don't try to kill Sasuke or Sakura, a Konoha citizen, Mito yelled. Oh, grow up. He lost fair and square, and that bitch tried to hit me, Naruto says, as Mito stared at her brother in horror. This was not her little baby brother who used to ask her to train him when mom and dad declined. No, this was anger, rage, and hate taking form. We really fucked up, Mito thought, while Mema stared at anger. How dare this failure lash out at his betters? He should be happy that he was their punching bag, to be useful to the child of prophecy and friends, he thought. Sayuri stared at Naruto, shocked. She stared at her Naruto's power in shock and disbelief. What, did she break him so badly that now all he was fear, anger, and hatred taking form? Did a teasing and a plan to make Naruto submissive really break him to the point that only rage and hatred remained? Okay, we'll take a break, and then we'll do the final exam, Iruka says. While that was happening, there was a meeting in the Hokage's office. It was now about the Genin team's assignment. So these are new Genins. I want you to take your pick of which shinobi you want. And if there were two Jonins who want a same shinobi, we will decide through argument, Minato says. Asuma, the son of the third Hokage, walked up. I would like to take the next generation of Inoshika Cho. I would like to train them in unison, Asuma says. Anyone opposed to this? Minato asked. No one argued. Well then, Asuma, the team is yours, he says. Next, Kurenai Yui stepped up. I wish to take Kiba Inuzuka, Shino Aburume, and Hinata Hyuga, said Kurenai, making Minato nod as there was no objections. Kakashi then stepped up. I would like to take Sasuke Uchiha, Sakura Harano, and Naruto Uzumaki, he said as everybody was shocked. Kakashi didn't go for Mema. Since he picked Sasuke, they were really shocked that this didn't happen, as the rivalry between Mema and Sasuke would help each other grow. No, you can't have him, Krishna yelled, interrupting Kakashi. Minato, I'm Naruto's mother. I want him on my team. It'll be the perfect way for us to bond again as a family. And I could train him better than anybody else. I'm his mother, she said forcibly. This could be her chance to work out things between her son and her family. If I may, I believe that Naruto wouldn't benefit from Krishna's training, as he wouldn't listen to her, because I mean this respectfully. He hates your family, Kakashi says, as Krishna glared at him with sadness and regret. Mind your words, Kakashi, Minato says as Kakashi nodded. I'm sorry, he says. Kakashi saw the fight, and what he saw made him want Naruto even more. The boy was a prodigy like none other, plain out simple. He wasn't trained by anybody, he was meant to be sabotaged, but he was this strong that all of that never even affected him. He was another prodigy who suffered pain of abandonment like him. He could understand Naruto's way, and it would benefit Obito's legacy if he could help repair the damage between Sasuke and Naruto and make them into ultimate rivalry team. He could also repair the damage between the Namikaze family and Naruto as Adeptus family or his sensei. Minato was in heavy thought. He obviously would like Krishna to take Naruto, but to be honest, Kakashi did have a point. Krishna would try to connect and force Naruto into doing something he didn't want to do, which would only push him further away. And he wasn't sure about Mema Mito exactly making things easier, as Mema hated his brother. But on the other hand, putting him with Kakashi might also not be a good idea, as that man was not a good student. To be honest, the only reason why he was here was because the Leaf needed joining instructions after the QB attack happened. There weren't many left, so he was low on options. He needed a good joining for his son. Minato was snapped out of his thoughts when a person stepped up. If you don't mind, I would like to take Naruto Uzumaki and Sayuri Uchiha, a figure said, making Minato's eyes widen. Yes, this could work. The man who stepped up was Shisui Uchiha. No, Minato, he's my son, Krishna said desperately, before Minato put his hand on his head. He looked at Krishna apologetically. I'm sorry, Krishna, but as Hokage, I cannot make decisions based on personal feelings. Team dynamics won't work. So, Shisui Uchiha, you can have both Sayuri Uchiha and Naruto Uzumaki, Minato says. As Shisui smiled, he saw himself in Naruto, but with a small twist. They were both lonely. While Naruto was neglected, he had lost his mother. He knew where that could take someone. On the crossroads of revenge, he could either go rogue or be completely loyal. Luckily, Itachi was there to make sure that he stayed loyal to Leaf, but Naruto didn't have anybody, and he wanted to be that someone. The jutsu portion went a standard anime, but they showed their jutsus. Naruto had shown a 5-star 5 dragon jutsu, A rank jutsu, which pissed everybody off, as Menma never had anything better. He only had a low tier B rank jutsu. It was now a break. Iruka would announce the teams after break, so then after that they could go home. Naruto quickly made his way to the forest and waited. Hi Naruto-kun, did you miss me? Yaku says as she hugged him. Of course I did. Now what's the update on Naruto Gakka? Naruto asked, thinking about the hidden village she would be making. It's good. I managed to enslave several S-rank shinobis. We now have the strength comparable to the Akatsuki and several other high-ranking villages, she says as Naruto kissed her on the cheek. I knew you could do it, my moon goddess. Now, I need to leave to go and get my team assignment. You should carry on collecting more servants for us, Naruto says as Yaku smiled, dazed from the kiss as she was still blushing. Of course, Naruto-kun, she says as she flew away. But guys, that's all for today. Peace.